Morning, folks. Welcome back to Melba's Gone Rogue. So, this is the first video after last week's daily video. I've moved to a once a week for now, I think. So, I noticed I didn't change that on my channel information, so I need to do that. Anyway, so once a week. So, it's back to morning coffee in my robe. So, I hope you're joining me. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This channel is focused on my development as a new YouTuber. I have a main channel, which is AKA Sweet Melba, just known as Sweet Melba. And that's really where I'm focusing my attention and talking about what I'm doing over there, how things are going, the analytics on that, just how it's going. Um, but my husband and I also have a separate channel, which is a travel channel. I'm not at this point providing him any information on that. It's just the AKA Sweet Melba. So if you haven't seen that channel, I invite you to go over, take a look, because everything I'm really talking about today is about that channel. So anyway, so I'll do some analytics, but I wanted to start with just what I did last week with the channel. So, and I have a lot of notes this morning too. So, and I'm going to put up as much information as I can on the video too. So I'll add some photos in here, there, wherever that may show up. So anyway, so I hope you have some coffee, tea, whatever you're drinking this morning. And we'll get started with how things went for week 2. So I published 2 new videos on the AKA Sweet Melba channel and 2 new shorts. And just briefly on the shorts, I mentioned in my previous videos on this channel, Melba's Gone Rogue, that I'm not a big shorts fan. I don't watch shorts, but I was doing the shorts because it's supposed to get you some bigger reach, channel awareness, because so many people are watching shorts. And I'm not a shorts person. I like the long view videos, even if they're, 8 minutes, 20 minutes, 30, 40 minutes, I watch those. Those are the channels that I watch. So I'm not big on the shorts, but I am doing the shorts to try and get the reach out there a little bit more. And I really do the shorts as kind of intros to my long form videos that are on the AKA Sweet Melba channel. So anyway, so 2 new videos and 2 new shorts over there. And then my other focuses this past week were looking at the titles and the thumbnails. So I'm going to hopefully be able to put up the 2 different styles that I'm currently using to kind of see if there's any difference there. I'd appreciate everybody's thoughts if you're watching. If hopefully, again, I'll be able to post them here, but which one you like best. So the first one will be A and the second one will be B. So if you can let me know, I appreciate it in the comments, and what you like different about them, just on the thumbnails themselves. So I'd like to get a little feedback, because I'm not. So the other area I was working on this week were the titles, and titles are tough. In my rogue style, I just want to post a general title. But, the whole, does it have a hook? Does it spark some emotion, curiosity, or fear, or FOMO, or something like that? Anyway, so, I was using Google AI and just kind of putting up my title with my description and kind of getting some feedback from that and kind of using what they're saying. And, the ones that I appreciate what comes up, and granted, you have to take it with a grain of salt, but there's suggestions for the different focus of how I would like that title to attract people, whether it's that curiosity piece or the emotional piece or educational or whatever it may be. It's just the wording to me looks like that. hate to say it, but kind of clickbaitish. I just, so what I looked at, I was like, okay, what part of this one do I like? What part of that one do I like? How could I combine those to make it just be real and me? Again, tying into my R.O.G.U.E principle. So I tried to play with that a little. I don't think I was very successful with that. But I'm going to keep working at it. And I'm thinking I may try to come up with a little template for myself that kind of has some of those key components of what should be in a title, to see if that might help me be a little more creative in coming up with titles. So that was what I really worked on this week. Looking the thumbnails a little bit different, trying to work on the titles a little bit. Also obviously I am also looking at what people are searching for. So that's always interesting, how people are putting in search terms. And I wonder if some of those search terms are people like us, new tubers, looking to see what other people are searching for or what those videos look like. So anyways, you kind of have to kind of take some of that with a grain of salt too. But anyways, those were my focus areas for this past week. So I guess, let's see, is that all I wanted to? I think that's it for my general overview. So let's get to the analytics. And I have it written down, but I'm going to open my computer and I'm just going to set it in my laptop here so that I can see them a little bit better, and get my glasses, of course, at 50 something. Okay, so let's see. So highlights for week 2 on the AKA Sweet Melba channel. So I had a total of 173 views, 12 of which were for the videos and 161 for the shorts. So, back to the shorts get the views because everybody's watching the shorts. Anyway, so total watch time was 1.7 hours. I have one new subscriber, so thank you very much. You subscribed to the AKA Sweet Melba, appreciate it. And a total of 413 impressions. So again, on the videos specifically. So videos, I had 12 views on the videos, 206 impressions, a click-through rate of 2.9%, so that's not bad, and an average view duration of 6 minutes and 19 seconds. And then on the shorts, again, I had 161 shorts views, 31 of which were engaged viewers, 3 likes, and no new subs as a result of the shorts, which is, I guess, part 2 of my wanting to do the shorts. Was 1, introduction to the channel. Maybe they go over and watch the long view, but hopefully maybe you get some subscribers. So far, nothing on that. And so week 2 compared to week 1. So are there improvements? So yes, there are improvements. So that's good. I'm happy with that. So I had 5 more views in week 2 than I did in week 1, which was a 71% increase. I had 119 more short views than week 1, which was a 283% increase. And I had 19 more engaged viewers in week 2 than in week 1, which was a 158% increase. So that's all great. Good to see that. So my click-through rate went down from week 2 to week 1 compared to week 1. So I went from 4% in week 1 to 3% in week 2. So 1%. So impressions on the videos. So the video impressions in week 2 were 206 compared to week 1 at 148. So that was a 39% increase. So that's good. So YouTube's putting them out there a little bit more. Maybe they're figuring out what I'm trying to do, which I'm still trying to do. So, and then average view duration on the videos. Week 2 was at 38%. And week 1 was 12%. So that went up 216%. So that's great. Happy with that. So those are my numbers, week 2 compared to week 1. And then I'll mention also for this channel, the Melba's Gone Rogue, the whole new YouTuber, learning what they're doing, trying to develop, grow their channel. So I'll give you some analytics on this channel. So week 2 for this channel, and I should say, so week 1 there were 6 videos because I was doing them daily, and week 2 there was just one, which was my last video. So I think going into week 3, going forward, will be a better comparison because there weren't a more standard, right, from 6 videos to one. So anyway, so week 2 on Melba's Gone Rogue. So there were 15 views of the video for less than 30 minutes. No new subs, 945 impressions, and a 1% click through rate. So the impressions is interesting to me. So week 1 impressions was 1,000 or 1,300 impressions. Week 2 was 945, significantly more than the main channel. Which, because I guess the main channel, they're still trying to figure out what I'm doing over there. Whereas this channel is pretty clear, right? So anyway, so I thought that was interesting. But so compared to week 1, so I had a 50% decrease in views. Again, there were 6 videos a week before last, and only one this past week. They're all decreases. A 27% decrease in the number of impressions, a 58% decrease in the average view duration, and a 1% decline in the click-through rate. So again, I don't think week 1 and week 2 we can compare. They're kind of apples and oranges because of the content, but we'll see. Maybe I've got the wrong view on that. But anyway, so we'll see what week 3 looks like compared to week 2 and see how that goes. So anyway, so those are my stats for week 2. So it was a good week. I felt more productive, obviously getting, 2 videos and 2 shorts out last week on the main channel, aka Sweet Melba. I think the analytics, they're getting a little bit better. I'm still kind of getting my format down on the aka Sweet Melba channel, and kind of where I'm going with that. So that channel, my focus there is, at 50 something, just a life review. The focus of that channel is a life well lived. So just talking about that process of self-assessment, kind of where I'm at, I think, in my life, but also looking back, obviously, and looking at my accomplishments, challenges, that kind of stuff. And so that's really what that channel is focused on. So personal development, self-assessment, life lessons learned, sharing that. So for week 3, which starts now, or actually, yeah, starts yesterday. So for week 3 on the main channel, I'm going to be doing 1 new video and probably 3 shorts. So I need a short I didn't do on my second video, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a short kind of general on just the channel, aka Sweet Melba. And then I will do a short on that new video that's going to be coming out. So probably 3 shorts next week, or this week, excuse me. And let's see what else. Oh, so my real focus too for this week on the aka Sweet Melba is, who is my audience? Who am I talking to? And see if that will help me in my direction and whatnot. It's kind of a mix, really, right? So I'm doing, a 50 something review of your life well lived, right? So that's for anybody. But, is it mainly focused to those, other 50 somethings? I don't think so. It's probably a primary, but I don't think so. I think it applies to everybody, and I'm kind of putting it in that context. A life review at any point in your life, I think, is important. When you get older, you tend to focus on that a little bit more, I think. I know I do. So I just kind of, I kind of need to process that a little bit more of who my audience is. And then the components of those that are the life lessons learned, again, that's, I think, mainly for younger people, 20s, 30s, 40s, but certainly could be for your 50s plus too. But I think the primary audience with the life lessons learned is a younger audience. So, kind of, being more aware of the words that I'm using in terms of who I'm talking to. So, that's something I'm going to kind of focus on. And I was thankful for that reminder. Melba's gone rogue, and the whole focus on the rogue, real, original, genuine, unique expression is what I'm all about. And so when I kind of started this channel, it was really, just being overwhelmed with all the guru advice that was out there and everything. And so what I've been doing really is looking at those ones that I really like and appreciate. And I've gotten rid of a lot of subscriptions to these ones because there's so many ones out there, cut and paste, copy, do this, I don't agree with that. So the one channel that I'm sticking with that I really do like, I think they're very authentic. I think it's talking to a very diverse audience of new YouTubers, seasoned people, business people, things of that nature, is Think Media. So shout out to Think Media and Sean. I really do enjoy the channel. That's the one I'm kind of sticking with. And the video I watched yesterday really put me on the who is your audience? Who are you talking to? So, again, thanks to Sean and his guest for that presentation. So, that's the one I'm thinking I'm going to stick with for my advice channel. Because otherwise, I just think the other ones are just repeating what the other ones say. And anyway, so focusing on my audience, back to that. That's going to be my thought process, I think, for this week 3, is who is my audience? How am I adjusting my videos and how I'm talking to those different audience groups there? So that's what I'm going to work on. And I mentioned also, I'm thinking I want to come up with some kind of a template for my titles to help me kind of, focus in on what I want to get into my titles that will help the algorithm deliver those up, get people's attentions, improve the click rate and whatnot. So I'm going to try and work on that. And and I may try doing a short on this channel on Melba's Gone Rogue. I may try to do that this week. So I'll see if there's anything that really stands out. Because I think, the discussion, and this kind of why I'm doing this channel, I think it's a interesting discussion when you're a new YouTuber. I think we all have kind of the same challenges. Some are doing better than others. I don't think it's a, oh, you're doing, envious type thing. Not on my part anyway. I'm just really, trying to improve my channel. So, and share my thoughts. So maybe some of them are helpful to you. I'd really love to hear people's suggestions, comments in the video today would be great. I'd appreciate that. So yeah, so that's, I think that'll do it for today. So again, switching to the just once a week, and this will probably be the posting time, Wednesdays. If there's something, newsworthy that I feel like I maybe need to do a second video during the week, that may happen. But I thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed some of the content. I hope you subscribe to the channel. If you like it, a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it, and look forward to building some community on this channel as well as the AKA Sweet Melba. So again, I encourage you to go take a look at AKA Sweet Melba. Let me know what you think. Hopefully you'll subscribe to that channel as this continues to grow, and find some value over there. So again, thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next week. All right. Bye-bye. I'm Sweet Melba.